Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Just getting some yard work done today, had time to make a video. We're gonna jump right into it. This series in Toyline came out around 87, 88. It wasn't a huge success commercially. I really didn't know much about it back in the day. I believe Tim had some of these when he was a kid. I did not, but it is BraveStarr. Now the premise of this show, obviously he was a cowboy, he was the marshal, and then Tex Hex was the villain. They made a decent little toy line, not a huge amount of toys for this, but some of them are pretty cool. They're a bit taller than your average 3 3/4 inch figures. I think they're around that 6 or 7 inches from what I recall. I did find some of these in a lot. I sold them. Not too upset about it. I'm not really too married to this toy line. I do think it is pretty neat. What you might not know about this series, it actually was developed around Tex Hex. Now, Tex Hex was a villain in the Ghostbusters series. So if you didn't know that, it's kind of interesting. We're both produced by Filmation. So the producer wanted to use Tex Hex in his series, and they built the series around him as being the bad guy. They did a sci-fi western, and it turned into the cartoon and the toy line you're going to see here. So we'll get into some prices here, guys. Not a hugely expensive toy line to collect. It is pretty neat. I actually thought the figures were pretty cool, the ones that I got and sold. Remember, I had the Horse 3030 as well. I did sell that. I can't remember what I got for it now. I'm going to say $70 or $80 at the time. Now, this was probably, I'm going to say, 3 years ago, give or take, in that area, so I'm not too sure if they went up. We're going to check some prices, and let's get right into it. First one we have in the list is 3030, and as you can see up here, it's a really neat figure, complete on the top, 444, a busted up one for 36 in the middle, and then 802 new in box. Now, the one I had, I know it was not near complete. It did not have all this stuff with it. I think I might have had a few accessories of it. Looks to me like the prices went up dramatically. A lot of these toys have gone up quite a bit since I got stuff back in the day and sold it, guys. It just is what it is with this. Some of this stuff I would have never expected going this high, especially like the mask toys and stuff like this. It's just gotten crazy. To me, $802 for a sealed one is crazy. I don't think this sold a lot, so some of these, you know, to find a new sealed one is going to be very rare. 16 bids on this. Collecting this stuff, this would be one of the grails for the collection. Next up, we have Colonel Borobot. As you can see in the top, $214. The middle one's $34.62 just for the piece on the bottom. So the accessories, again, a lot of these toys are very expensive, guys. Really hard to gauge how much this would actually go for. I'm going to say you're probably going to be like 80 to 100 if you had the thing complete. Really zany looking character. Again, 214 brand new in box is pretty good for any of these old toys in my opinion. Next up is Deputy Fuzz. Now I did have this one and I do remember selling it. $16 in the middle, just the figure, $277 complete on top, and then $208 on the bottom. Yeah, just another wild thing. Obviously, they made this character to be like a funny sidekick, you know, probably wisecracking and kind of looked a little ridiculous. It is what it is. Pretty expensive if it is complete, though, guys. Keep an eye out for it. Next on our list, we have Handlebar. And as you can see on the top, $54. $48 for the two figures in the middle, and then $377 brand new on the bottom. Neat looking figure. Again, none of these were like groundbreaking by any stretch. It was just a basic cowboy sci-fi toy line. There wasn't anything too fantastic about it. And if you're a huge fan of this, I do apologize. I'm not an encyclopedia on this toy line. I know very little about it. I don't ever remember seeing the cartoon. Like I said, I think it only lasted a year and a half or 2 years at the most. Again, $377 brand new is what you're going to look to pay if you find this new in the box. Next up, we have Iron Jaw. Now, this is one of the villains, guys. This does say bootleg on one of the listings, so be wary of that. I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. And then the bottom one, we have $299. They took an offer on it, probably $275, $285. It says rare exchanger, so I don't know. It is something you could find in a bin when you're out or at a flea market with a couple bucks on it. You just don't know with this stuff. And the more you know about these vintage toys, the more you can navigate collecting and, you know, lessen the blow of spending money on this stuff, because a lot of it is out of reach for most of us. Next up is Marshal BraveStarr. Now, this is just the regular character in box. Now, there is versions of these with bigger backpacks. We'll go into that too. As you can see, the middle one, 347 brand new, and then 345 brand new on the bottom. So, you know, you're going to be around that 340, 350 range for this brand new. I don't believe this character is particularly expensive out of the box. I didn't add it into there. You can find that for yourself on eBay. But just a cool character. It is the hero of the toy line. This will not go down in value. Next up, we have the Neutral Laser. Now, this is a neat little pistol. Obviously more of a plaything for just running around outside, being a kid and stuff. And you're not going to use it with the toy line itself. Neat little gun though. 277 brand new on the bottom. 138 brand new in the middle. And then 96 open on the top. Big disparity on the brand new ones. Not too sure why that is. Maybe one's a little bit nicer. Again, almost double the price seems a little weird. I'm assuming the person in the middle might have undercut themselves a little bit, maybe. I'm not too sure, guys. But again, this would be awesome to pick up. And kudos to the guy who picked up the one in the middle for 138 bucks. It was a steal of a deal. Next up is Outlaw Scuzz. And this really does look like Deputy Fuzz. It almost looks like they used the same body for it. And if I had to guess, I would say they did. And on the top, you can see 242 brand new and then 242 brand new in the middle. This looks like they've sold it twice and the one person didn't pay for it. You're probably going to be around that 230, 240 range for that. And then $104 complete on the bottom. Neat looking figure. Again, you will notice a lot with Hasbro, Mattel, and LGN and all these toy lines. They did take parts and other things and just recreate them in different skins, or they put a different head on them or different colors. That's just to save money so they don't have to make new molds. Up is Sandstorm. I do believe I did have this one and sold it, guys. As you can see on the bottom, $22. The middle, $75, and then top, $277 brand new. Not a bad price for one of these old figures in the box. Again, they're bigger than the Joes and the stuff like that. I'd say they're probably about that tall from what I recollect. Not too sure why the disparity in price on the two here. Just, it is what it is on eBay. You just never know, guys. Neat looking character. Keep an eye out for it. We have the Skull Walker, guys. And as you can see on the bottom, $83 loose. And then you're looking at 130, 140 bucks brand new in the box. Neat vehicle. I think this was for Tex Hex to ride around on. When I see these paired with other characters, it's usually that one. So just keep an eye out. Neat looking figure. Again, two-legged horse thing. Who knows? They had some wacky ideas back in the day. Up, we have the evil villain Tex Hex with the laser fire stuff. As you can see on the top, 250 brand new. 180 looks complete in the middle there, and then 70 on the bottom with some of the stuff. I'm pretty sure I did have Tex Hex. I know I had the two backpacks for these guys when I sold all the stuff, so I'm not too sure what I got for those. It's been a long time, guys. Neat character, again, brought over from Ghostbusters. And Tex Hex was a planned character for Ghostbusters, but they thought it would be better to have him in his own series. I'm not so sure it really worked out for them. I mean, I'm sure they did make some good money making the cartoon in this for the limited run it was around. But anyways, neat character. A little bit on the pricier side, but again, the main characters in these toy lines usually have a pretty decent value. Again, with Tex Hex, the next one is just the quick draw version, which is the basic character. 197 on the top, new, 242 new, and then 1388 on the bottom. So it says 8-inch here, so I guess that's how tall they are. Again, not a super expensive character, but if you get it in the box and complete, again, not too expensive. This would have been one of the more popular toys in the line. We have Thunderstick. Kind of reminds me of Trapjaw from Motu. On the top, you got 111. The middle, 902 brand new. That is pretty pricey for one of these. Woo! And then 71 bit on the bottom. Yeah, $900 seems crazy for this. They probably didn't sell a lot of these, and that's why. And as you can see, even 111 for the figure on top seems pretty pricey, guys. It's one you want to keep an eye out on your travels. Next up, we have the Stratacoach, guys. Neat looking vehicle. Again, very expensive. $888 on the bottom, $903 in the middle, and then $204 on the top. Getting up in this price range, you can tell these didn't sell a lot, and they probably didn't sell a lot of vehicles and accessories for this. I'm sure a lot of kids would just get one or two of the characters, and that was it. And that's probably why the vehicles and playsets are so expensive. $900 for this. I don't know, man. That's a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't know who's buying this stuff, but there's obviously a lot of big fish in the world that are buying this stuff and love to collect this stuff. One we're going to go over is the Fort Curium playset. There's also a bank and a jail with it. Really neat set here. As you can see, $1381 brand new. These play sets, and this goes for Motu and G.I. Joe, to find them new, sealed, brand new, unopened in the box like this is very rare, and that's why they're so expensive. But this would be an awesome play set. I actually really like it. It looks really neat. I'll show you what the boxed one looks like. keep an eye out. As you can see, it's a very expensive play set, so it's going to be really hard for you to add it to your collection. You know, just the parts on the bottom, there's $90. The stickers are $22. Just keep an eye out. It would be awesome if you can add it to your collection, or if you're an avid BraveStarr collector, you can let me know your thoughts on the series. I think the problem with this time frame is there was so many sci-fi spin-offs of everything, and there was just so much competition. And some of these just fell by the wayside. There's tons of these toy lines that did, and the cartoons that maybe lasted a year or two that you might remember, and I still remember them too. That's going to do it for good old Marshall BraveStarr, Tex Hex, and their Wild World. Not a huge toy line. This video is not going to be super long, guys. There's not a huge amount of toys in this line, so collecting it, while the play sets and things might be expensive, you don't have to buy a whole bunch of stuff to fill out the toy line if you want to. I still think it's pretty neat. A lot of this stuff, when I come across, I think I'm actually going to keep it because I'm enjoying getting back into the hobby of collecting the vintage 80s stuff. And I think I'm just going to run with it. You guys seem to like watching some of the stuff on the channel, so we'll keep doing that. And I really do appreciate you sticking around here. We have a fun time doing this stuff. We have a fun time going out and digging through junk and looking at thrift stores. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.